to start with 7 inches of wire. I'm going to go ahead and cut 4 pieces of that. Now I'm going to take the 24 gauge wire and start to wrap it around my 18 gauge wire. I'm going to leave about an inch here on the end and start to wrap 3 times around the bottom wire. And I have that little tail to hold on to. Grab my next wire, go on top of the bottom wire. And wrap around that one. And the bottom wire. Come up with the wire again. Grab my next wire. Put it there on top of the previous wire. Wrap around it. And the bottom wire. Next wire, put it on top of there, wrap around it, and come back around to the bottom. And then I'll take that wire and go up and come around this third wire. That. Down, come back up and go onto the next wire. And follow up with going back around and coming up to the bottom wire. I'm going to take the pliers and just squish these together to make them a bit closer. There we are. And I'll just continue with that pattern. Next, I'll take the wire up to the second wire and around it. Then up both wires, back to the top third wire. Down all of the wires, back to the top and around and back down to the bottom. Then as I come back up, I'm going to go under. Come back down. Down and back up. Bottom wire. And I'm squeeze these together a bit. And I'm just going to continue with that pattern. Once I've made 3 of the triangle patterns, I come next and just wrap around all of the wires 5 times, like that, and then continue on with the 3 triangle pattern. So that's basically it. I'll just continue up the entire length of the wire until I reach about an inch on the end, the other end. So it's 3 triangle pattern here, then 5 around each of them, then 3, then 5 continuously. I'm gonna go ahead and do it one more time. So I'll bring the wire up and around the bottom wire. Back up and around the second wire. Then up again around the third wire. Up again and around the top wire, all the way down again in the back, and then up and around the third wire again, down, up, around the second to the bottom wire again, and down and up over the bottom wire. And I'll just tighten these, pull them in a little closer together here. And just continue on with that pattern. So you get to the other end, and I'm going to leave about 1.5 inches free space on the other side. All right, now I'm done with the weaving, and I got about 1.5 inches free space here, like I mentioned before. Now I'm going to bend the wire into the shape of bracelet. I'm going to have mine kind of like an oval shape rather than a complete circle. Now I'm going to take a 16 gauge wire and the end of this ring comb, the largest end, and wrap the wire around one time, completely around to make a circle. Alright. Next I'll take wire cutters and just go ahead and make a cut right there. Doesn't matter where, just where the wires intersect. Now I'm going to take the 20 gauge wire and cut about 3 inches off. And I'm going to make a loop right in the center of that wire that I just cut. You could use a soldering gun or iron to solder these two pieces together, but I don't have either. And as I always say, I like to use what I have on hand. So instead of using a soldering iron, I'm going to use this piece that I just cut to help it hold together. Place the wire like that, hold one side and bend it around. Like that. And then hold the other side and do the same. This is by no means replacing a soldering iron, but This is my improvisation. Maybe one day, if I decide to do more projects that require soldering, I will invest in that, but right now I don't, and I will not. So this is what I'm using to hold it together for now. And I'll just go ahead and flatten out this little tip here. And just press these wraps tight. Next, I'll take the 26 gauge wire and cut 4 pieces at 8 inches each. Then just bundle the wires together and start twisting in the middle. All right, I guess about an inch. Let's see. Yeah, let's do an inch. All right. Now, once you have your wires twisted, I'm going to come down to the end and spread the wires out. On both sides. Now I want to go ahead and get the round piece that we did earlier, and the part that looked like it was going to be a bell, I want you to make that go sideways, and the twisted wire is going to go up and down like that, and you just hold it at the base here. Take one of the wires and wrap it around the bottom base, maybe 4 times. All right. And let's go ahead and get the next wire and do the same until you get all the wires wrapped at the base. These represent the roots of the tree that we're making. All right, your next wire and the next wire, and let's wrap those the same way. And now I can just go ahead and trim the excess off. trim and flatten as usual. Got one little stubborn piece there. There we are. Now I'm going to flatten the wire down to help it stay in place a little bit better. There we are. Now I'm going to twist the trunk. Just have it a little crooked like a real tree. Might need to unravel these top wires a bit. I think I overdid it when I said an inch. So maybe 3/4 of an inch would have been good. See, I never professed to be a perfectionist, but it always seems to work out in the end. All right, so got those wires spread out there. Now I'm going to incorporate the beads. These are amethyst and green aventurine. I'm going to go ahead and place the beads onto the wire now. One at a time. I think my wire is small enough where I only need about 4 or so. So I'll just do each wire the same. As I'm getting to the base wire here, I'm gonna just wrap it around once, just to hold the beads onto the wire. I may need to wrap it some more, or I may need to alter it, so I'm only gonna wrap it once for now. And I'm gonna continue on with the rest of the wires. All right, I've already put all my beads onto the branches, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap around here maybe 3 times, 3 additional times to finish that tree off. And I'll just snip the wire because we're done with it, and press it flat. Alright, so just do the same for the other. Here is what I'm working with right now. Now I'll come back to the bracelet, and the longer end, see I got 1 inch on this side and I think it was 1.5 inches. Whatever it was. This is the longer end. I'm going to take the outermost wires, the 2 of them, and bend them down. Like that. And just snip those off and flatten them. Try to tuck away that sharp end by curving it under, and I'll do the same for this side. There we are. And that leaves us with the 2 middle wires. Next, I'm going to come up about 1.5 inches here and bend that wire down. Okay. I'll go ahead and clip right here. Then I come to the end of that, take the pliers and just round the ends. And flatten. And then I'll just press this down. Like that. Then I'll just take the other end of the wire and this side here, and I'm just going to wrap it around there. Put it on there and just press it closed. And you can just put them together like so. And then I'll just shape this wire a bit so it can fit on an actual arm. Next, I'll cut about 3 inches of the 24 gauge wire, 2 pieces. Then I'll wrap the wire, 1 piece of the wire around either side to help make it more secure so these 2 pieces won't move around separately. Just go till I reach the end of the wire. Since we bent these 2 wires on the end, this wire should fit smoothly down in between there. And once you get it all wrapped around, you just flatten it. And it's good to go. And then I'll wrap the other side alongside these wires here. Previously, when we were doing the pattern weaving, I ended my weaving with just 2 of the straight lines going across all the wires. So when I added this last piece here, it looks like a continuous flow of that pattern. I don't know how yours ended. It either ended with this or this, but mine ended with this one. And it looks like this wire helped finish the look, if that makes any sense. I've gone ahead and put it on my arm. Well, let's take off these other bracelets so you can get a better look. There we are. All done.